freezing.
Oh, what do you need? Hot tea, coffee?
Lip gloss.
Is my really just like bad midterm week this week. Try and lock in more today.
This is my master to-do list so far.
Guys, this is like the craziest thing I think that's happened to me on campus so far. Hi everyone, I'm Serena. Welcome back, and this is actually part 2 of my midterm series vlog. So if you haven't seen part 1 already, be sure to check it out because this is sort of after those events because I'm doing it chronologically. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Good morning, guys. It is the next day now, 10 a.m. because I'm gonna go to the library and try to be there around 11 a.m. And I do actually have to work on an assignment with my friend today. I definitely need to prepare more snacks this time because I think we're gonna get hungry anyway. It's like inevitable. We'll probably get food, but I wanna like stay at the library a little bit longer today because yesterday I literally just went shopping with my friend. But also like I hadn't seen my high school friend in a while, so I think it's fair that like we went and like talked and whatever. But today I really wanna like actually get a lot more done. I have to get through at least 2 chapters and it's just like there's a lot, so try and lock in more today. But yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully everyone else is having a great midterm slash just like study season, staying productive, staying motivated. Hopefully these videos are gonna help you guys also stay productive and stay motivated. And yeah, I'm just gonna get ready a bit and then I'll see you guys at the library. Hello everybody and welcome back. In my previous midterm video, which if you haven't seen part 1, go watch it before this one, I think I mostly went over the broader, more overarching exam study tips, but now I want to get into a lot more details. I'm gonna start with like the hardest to deal with topic just to get it over with first, and this is going to be how to deal with failure or not meeting your expectations. I mean, come on, we've all been there, getting a test mark back and your smile immediately dropping and getting that sinking feeling in your chest. It honestly just sucks, and especially because I've always put my grades on a pedestal, especially since my childhood dream has always been a notoriously hard major to get into, get through, and graduate from. I've also just always been taught that academics is extremely important, and I just hold myself to very high standards, I would say. Okay, so how do you deal with failure and how do you get better? I've had my fair share of exam fails. It's actually pretty common in engineering, at least in Canada, so don't worry too much about it. And I will say the first time always takes you by surprise, especially since, as many of you guys I'm sure, I was a straight A student throughout my whole life, and then going into university, my first below 50% mark is literally like a bullet through the chest. However, I've never been one to give up, and I think this is definitely the first step, which is just acknowledging the failure and also wanting to do better. Similar to rejection, you kind of have to just accept it and move on. Being stuck on the failure will genuinely get you nowhere, and you'll just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper into a hole. So here are the steps that I take after a bad mark. Number 1 is to see where you went wrong. I would compare your test to the test solutions or a friend's test if they had the question marked right, and just see what happened. Did you approach it from the wrong perspective? Did you miscalculate somewhere partway through? Or did you just completely miss the mark on the question entirely? These sorts of questions can help guide you towards the next best solution. The next step is to come up with a solution to do better. Depending on your answer to the previous few questions, you might have a lot of catching up to do, or you might just have to practice certain types of concepts and questions to get better. Read the textbook, ask friends, or go to office hours. Just seek out resources to better understand the material, and just remember that this all takes time. You may have to sacrifice time spent on your stronger courses to deal with your weaker ones, and that's okay. And of course, don't expect too much from yourself, because of course we all have expectations for ourselves. However, Relearning and fully understanding course material can take a while, so even if you failed like the midterm, try to make it up through assignments and labs, and by the final, just try to increase your percentage by a realistic amount. Even a 10 to 15% grade increase is incredible improvement, so just give yourself some grace. Good morning, everybody. Today is a lovely and bright and beautiful Monday, October 21st. It is my really just like bad midterm week this week, but essentially I just don't have my lab this morning. I have class starting at 2 p.m. today until 6 p.m. because I do still have my other lab for a different course. And I'm just going to continue studying for my electronic devices midterm, which is on Wednesday. This one is really heavy. I'm many chapters behind. I'm currently on chapter 3. I was supposed to get to chapter 4 yesterday, but because I was working on the homework set with my like homework partner for so long, I didn't get to it, and I was editing like my study vlog video for so long. My other course, which I have a midterm for Thursday morning, so I just don't have a lot of time to study for that course, but that is the course that I feel like a lot more comfortable in. So I feel like if I redo all of the homework sets and go over the lecture notes again, I think I'll be pretty set. Oh, and do like midterm practice. I think I'll be pretty set. The only part that I might be a little bit like not so good on is if I get tested on any lab related things, because the pre-labs have been really hard for my energy systems course. But for this morning, I just want to get through chapter 3 and start chapter 4 at least. I just put that down on my piece of paper here, and I'm also going to put it in my Notion. For those of you that are interested in just seeing my weekly schedule, this was last week. And yeah, I was grinding like crazy. This was the weekend. Like, I was really productive over the weekend, but I did not get like as much as I really wanted to get completed, but there were pretty big items. For example, like the homework set I had for my algorithms class, and just all of these chapters were really long when I'm taking my notes down. This is my master to-do list so far. It's mostly just midterms and obviously this homework set that I finished. My quizzes are canceled this week because of my midterms for the courses, which I'm very thankful for. We'll get to studying. The next thing I want to talk about is how important your study environment is to studying effectively. You can probably see in my more recent study vlogs how I am often studying in libraries because I know, okay, contrary to whatever you see on the screen right now, I know myself well enough that if I study at home too consistently, I'm not gonna get as much done as when I lock in at a library. I think again, this really depends on how well you know yourself. So let's say that you do know that you get distracted very often when you're working at home or in your dorm. I would say to go somewhere very productive like a cafe or a library, either on campus or in your city, to really get your work done. Personally, I find that when others are working hard, I feel even more motivated to get my work done as well. And yes, I know this does not apply to everybody. Like, for example, if you always study in groups at the library and then in turn get distracted a lot because you're talking with your friends or everyone else doesn't really want to be working either, I would say know that, and then maybe only study with one person and you know you guys will be productive together. Or you can just study at home or study alone, or there's even like cubicles at libraries usually, and I really like utilizing that. Plus, whenever I go to the library, it's kind of just an excuse to dress good and to look good and really study and be someone else's inspiration to log in. I think that's really cool. Overall, just really know yourself, and then also pick the study environment which you know you can study the most effectively in. It is time to freaking lock in, guys. It is Tuesday, October 22. I only had one class today because they're probably doing a review session during my tutorial for the midterm, but I'm literally not caught up yet. So even if I went to the review, it'll literally just be a bunch of like gibberish to me because I haven't caught up to the point where I need to. I am 3 chapters away. Not too bad, but not looking too great either, considering that my midterm is tomorrow and I have a midterm on Thursday at 11 a.m. On top of that, I don't know why I did not check this earlier, but my midterm later on in the week, so Thursday and Friday, are both worth way more than my midterm tomorrow. And I have been putting a majority of my time and effort into the midterm tomorrow. So that is exactly not what I should have been doing, essentially. And I should have been focusing my time on midterms that are worth a lot more. So that's just to show you guys, you know, like, just double check those small little things, because yeah, they can impact your overall, like, how you decide to organize your time. So my plan for today is I am going to still focus on my midterm on Wednesday. This is my electronic devices midterm, because I need to like catch up to the point where I just know which equations to use for the midterm. And I am gonna do more midterm practice, but I want to balance my time so that I do still have enough time to study for my midterm on Thursday, because there is no way that one night after I have just done a midterm, right? So like Wednesday night, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. is my midterm. I come back home, I eat dinner, 9 p.m. I start studying for my next midterm. Like, I know I'm not going to be as productive as I can be. So this is just what I have for today so far. I have to start my aid sheet for the midterm on Thursday, and the notes for the midterm on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. There's a couple more things I want to do. I wrote that down on this like sticky note sheet, which I've been really liking. And I also put down up here, one is 20% and one is 30%. And I'm on chapter 6 now. And I did print out some other midterms for my power electronics course. So we're gonna be doing that right after I finish this, I think. Now I want to talk about study music, since I think a lot of people always ask me like, hey, do you have a study playlist? And actually, studies have shown that listening to certain genres of music while studying can actually be more effective than just silence. This is usually classical music, but I don't really listen to classical music when I study. However, I personally cannot study unless I'm listening to something. But usually I don't like having a study playlist just in itself, because I really like switching it up constantly. Otherwise I kind of get bored, or I associate like certain music with studying, which can lead to negative mindsets about the music, which I really just don't want, because I love music way too much. Like I mentioned in like literally all my videos, I think, I listen to lots of Keshi as of lately, just while studying, because it's really calm and it's still upbeat enough so that I can stay focused. Another genre that I really like is R&B, so I've been listening to this playlist, and honestly I listen to everything, so it's kind of hard to choose what to recommend, but I'll give you an idea of my recent favorite artists just so you can get a good idea. I should also mention that I'm a huge music nerd amongst other things that I really enjoy, so I take my music taste really seriously. So if you compliment any of my playlists, I'll love you forever, and it will go to my head and just inflate my already big ego. And I will also make more artist and song recommendations if you guys like them. I am on to the next bit. I took a bit of a break. I finished chapter 6, and I was trying to get through chapter 5 and 6 of the textbook today, so that's good. And now I'm gonna study for my next midterm, which is on Thursday. This is just a previous midterm. I feel semi-motivated. I went for a walk really quickly, and I just took a bit of a break because I needed like dopamine for my brain. But yeah, we're gonna continue now. Reflecting back on this year's midterm season, since when I'm editing this, I've actually completed all of my midterms, so right now you're just seeing me go through them. I think I was actually doing a lot better in terms of just my studying and my studying mindset this year. I think this just goes to show how, as you go through the years in university or in college, you just refine a lot of your skills and just the way that you tackle these sorts of things, because by now I've probably taken like hundreds of exams, I don't even know. And every year, depending on the courses and just my timetable and time management of so many different things, you kind of improve like little by little on just all these sorts of aspects in terms of studying and managing your time and staying organized and all of that. So for those of you that are in first year or even second year or beyond but are still struggling to find that balance, don't worry, like it does take time. It takes time for everybody and it will get better. You just will improve over time, that's for sure. Okay, so right now we're watching me as I grinded for like I think close to 4 hours right before my second midterm, which was my electronic devices midterm, in a cubicle in the basement of a library. As you can see, it looks very dark and scary. And now you're probably wondering, Serena, how did you lock in for 4 hours, taking basically no breaks except to go to the washroom and not getting distracted constantly? Listen, guys, your phone is your biggest op. I'm not even joking. We use it as such a big, like, defense mechanism kind of against boredom or against basically like dopamine lows, but you kind of have just got to put your phone out of sight or just resist the temptation essentially. So every time in your brain when your mind is thinking like, this is so boring, like let me just grab my phone and scroll on something to like distract myself instead of doing this really boring task, you have got to take the discipline to block that out from your mind and to continue locking in and focusing on your studying. Obviously, this is easier said than done. It kind of took me a couple of months actually to build up to this point. I actually deleted a bunch of apps on my phone just to like not want to scroll on my phone all the time and make it as boring as possible. I'm actually going to be coming out with a video later on about this, on just how to increase your attention span, so like look out for that. But yeah, this all sort of comes down to your mindset and your discipline. So right now I'm obviously very stressed out because my midterm is in 4 hours, so I have got to get this information down. Even if it's not the most fun, exciting activity, I have to do it. So I just have to keep that motivation up and just basically force myself to stay focused, concentrate on the material that I'm learning, and, you know, just do it for myself so that I can do as well as I can during this exam. Okay guys, I just made it back home. It's like really dark, but I just need to tell you guys literally what happened because oh my god, this is crazy. Like today has been crazy. Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I think there's a bed bugs. Yes, you heard me right. In my school library. I literally was talking to my friend about it this morning when we were walking to school. Guess what happens? I'm like, okay, yeah, there's probably bed bugs, but like, I don't really care. I go to the library. As I'm leaving, I pick my bag up from the ground and guess what I see on it? A bug, guys. And it wasn't just any bug. I'm literally going down in full clothing right now to the laundry room. Well, I'm not putting my bag down on anything until I wash the entire thing because I'm so freaked out that there's bugs everywhere on me. But I'm washing all my clothes. But yeah, I'm just gonna do that really quick and then I'll discuss how my midterm went because that was pretty crazy. And I'm never stepping foot in a library with a carpet ever again. And then once that's done, I'll discuss about the midterm because it was crazy. And then I'm gonna start studying for my next midterm. Oh my god, guys. I just took a shower and washed like everything. I'm gonna wash like my entire everything I was wearing. First of all, my backpack because that's what I saw it on. Guys, this is like the craziest thing that I think that's happened to me on campus so far. Besides that, let me talk about my midterm. So I had my electronic devices midterm today. That's what I was studying for 4 hours. I was actually studying more so like 2 hours and a half for it, and I was studying for my midterm tomorrow a little bit of that as well, just because I needed to get like a little bit of both done, right? It was really long to say the least. Basically, the entire midterm was like at least 20 or so pages, 4 questions, but each question had obviously like 20,000 parts to it. Some of the questions I was like, wait, there's like so many, like there's just so many, the formula is really long in a lot of the questions. It's not that they're hard, it's just like plugging it in my calculator takes me at least like 3 minutes because there's so many numbers, so many formulas, so many like times 10 to the whatevers. And yeah, so at the end I wrote something down for every single question, that is for sure. I heard so many people around me saying that they couldn't even finish it. I'm not very concerned because it was 20% and I care a lot more about my midterm tomorrow, which is 30%, and I've had like very limited time to actually focus and study on my midterm for tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be a part 3 coming out of the last 2 midterms that I had to go through before my reading week, and they were pretty tough, guys, so just telling you guys that. So be sure to check them out next week or the week after once I edit and upload them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, like and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!